In this video, you'll hear from John Hatcher, Chief Revenue Officer of Hancock Claims Consultants. He'll recap the top 3 industry trends he observed at the 2023 PLRB conference. Trend 1, Carrier Staffing Challenges.
Yeah, carriers really are experiencing a pretty acute staffing challenge, especially in the adjuster area. It was already happening before COVID, but COVID really accelerated it. There are a number of adjusters, very experienced adjusters, who are choosing to leave the industry, aging out, if you will. And now those are having to be replaced, obviously, by new folks. Recruiting is somewhat challenging. Newer employees tend to have an expectation for more of a hybrid or work from home type environment as well. Whereas the experienced adjusters really oftentimes were very comfortable and experienced in working out in the field. And so all of those factors have really come into play now post-COVID as a continuing trend. You know, we had a leader at one of the larger carriers recently at a conference say that their average tenure in their adjuster workforce before COVID was 13 years. And currently it's 4 years. So that just shows how dramatic the shift has been in the typical experience level within the adjuster workforce as a result of these staffing challenges. And we've also been hearing that there are thousands of positions that will have to be filled in the very near term by this industry. So it's definitely a big issue.
How do carriers respond to staff challenges?
So when you're onboarding now new staff that are often going to have this expectation of a hybrid or a work from home type of work setting, now you have to do a few things. One, you have to recognize that you don't have the time and the luxury of time to take them through a mentoring process where they initially start out doing less complex claims, lower severity claims, and kind of work their way up over a period of years. There's now a demand that they handle those rather complex claims almost from day one. So what you need to do now, again, given their less experienced and they're typically going to operate from home, from a desk model. In fact, carriers more and more are shifting away from a field adjusting model toward a desk adjusting model. Now you've got to surround these adjusters with experienced set of eyes and ears and arms and legs to go out there and do a lot of the field work. In some cases, do some of the work that is less desirable. They'll typically push it to the back of their desk, offload those tasks onto a good partner or set of partners, and allow that adjuster to really focus more on coordinating the overall claims process and managing the relationship with the insured. Really have them focus on those two things, process and relationship. And out of that, what we believe, and I think the industry would echo this, is you're going to have a higher level of job satisfaction and a better ability to retain these new adjusters as you bring them on board.
How can Hancock help carriers do more with less?
At Hancock, what we're doing is really surrounding that adjuster. And if I point to the roof on my chest here, this roof really represents the full claims life cycle, and we have the claims adjuster at the peak of that roof. We still want that adjuster making that claims decision, but we want to empower them through a set of services we do from first notice of loss to that adjuster decision, that claims decision. We want to provide a whole lot of support for them, really going out in the field, inspecting, delivering complete inspection reports, estimates, doing contents claims, even assigning engineers or appropriate specialists, all in the evaluation process so that that adjuster can make a very informed, consistent, and accurate claims decision, and also handle more by taking off a lot of these tasks from their desk and handling it for them, then we give them leverage to handle that higher volume of claims, which is another demand that I think the industry is going to have going forward. Just doing a lot of the legwork for them. And then once that decision is made, now there's a whole set of activities involving restoration of the property and that policyholder to their pre-event state. And at Hancock, we have a number of things we do there, including a large network of repair contractors, mitigation contractors, and also we can do inspections of the repair process on behalf of the adjuster and the carrier as well. So it's really a whole set of activities, all really surrounding and supporting that adjuster.
Trend 2, partner consolidation.
Yeah, what we're hearing from a lot of carriers is that they work with a huge number of vendors and partners, what they call their vendor panel, if you will. And some of the larger carriers, for example, surprisingly will say that they work with hundreds. You may hear 300, 400, 500 different third parties. And that really certainly adds a lot of complexity to how they have to handle the claims process. Many of those vendors are small. Many of them handle just specific niches within the process. And so I'm hearing that a lot of these carriers are seeking to eliminate 80, maybe even 90% of their panel, if possible, really consolidate the work that they need third parties to do with fewer, larger players.
Why are carriers looking to consolidate partners?
Yeah, there are many drivers for this vendor consolidation. Carriers are looking, obviously, to maximize their buying power. They get economies of scale if they can move more of their work through each individual partner. In addition, you think about all of the administrative overhead that a carrier is incurring for each partner they work with. So it becomes a multiplier. And if you can reduce that count dramatically, then you can reduce your administrative costs, your administrative overhead as well. Then you also think about process simplification. If you have fewer partners, if you're the carrier and you have fewer partners involved in your claims process, you have an ability to simplify that process, not only for your internal staff, but also for the policyholder as well. And then you think about cycle time, the time that it takes to take an insured through the full process of a claim. And if you have fewer partners now and potentially partners that can do more of the claims process, you're reducing handoffs and starting to shrink that cycle time, which is very beneficial for both, not only the carrier, but also the insured in terms of customer experience. And then last but not least, you think about consistency. If you have fewer third parties, you're the carrier and you work with fewer third parties, now you have the ability to define processes that are more consistent from partner to partner and claim to claim.
How does Hancock support the full claims lifecycle?
Yeah, at Hancock, we've been very deliberate to focus our strategy and our overall service portfolio on delivering a full claims lifecycle capability for our carrier partners, our adjuster partners. And I do point to the roof again as representing that full, this is the full claims lifecycle support under one roof with the adjuster at the peak. And again, the adjuster is still making the decision. We are not adjudicating claims, but we are providing complete support for that adjudication process, as well as the restoration process on the back end. Services we provide, exterior and interior inspection and estimating, also personal property contents, inventory and estimating, engineering and specialists that can go out and do assessments or evaluations. And then on the backside, once that claim decision is made, now we're talking about mitigation, repair, temporary housing, what have you, all of the needs that an insured might have and their property might have in order to get that property back to that pre-event state. And so it's really, it's end to end. And we recognize the importance of that. The industry wants it and needs it, and we're certainly delivering it.
Trend 3, technology adoption.
Yeah, through the claims process, we've already seen a lot of technologies adopted by insurance carriers. These technologies, in many cases, have reduced the amount of time that it takes to handle a claim from start to finish. It also, in some cases, has improved the customer experience as well as the staff experience. And then additionally, in a lot of cases, reduces the cost of administering and handling that claims process. So there's certainly many opportunities that can come from technology adoption, and we continue to see technology evolve. It's a rather vast technology ecosystem in the insurance space, and there's always continuing change, and we are certainly a part of that and embrace that and look for every way possible to incorporate that, and as our carrier partners are.
What challenges come with technology adoption?
Yes, technology has to work well with the people and the processes that go on with a claim, and that's not only the people within the insurance carrier, but it's within the carrier's partners, as well as the insured themselves. Oftentimes, carriers are looking for insureds to use technology in how they may interact with the carrier and the carrier's partners. All of that has to work well together. And what we've seen in some cases is carriers may look to do technology for technology's sake. And oftentimes, the technology actually can introduce more complexity, more cost, and actually not make economic sense in the overall process. So it's important to be thoughtful. Don't rush into technologies. You need to do proper evaluation and really think about the three legs of that stool. It's technology, it's people, and processes all together.
What is Hancock's approach to technological innovation?
So we are always looking on the horizon at technologies as they come on. We are very diligent in evaluating new technologies and looking for ways that they can be incorporated into our claims process. We really view the services we provide as an optimal combination of people, process, and technology. And so with that, we do a very diligent job of integrating those technologies, not only integrating the technologies into our own service and processes, but also integrating with our carrier clients' processes. The integration there needs to be just as tight as it is within our own operation. And we've not only incorporated many third-party technologies, but also built some of our own in-house technology where appropriate and where necessary. And we've also made a very specific effort to be agnostic. We recognize that there are multiple choices for technologies within our industry, and we want to be able to support those technologies that our carriers choose, our carrier partners choose. So it's important that we are embracing technology, but also maintaining that agnostic position. And I would add the other thing we do is what I'll call tailored standardization. We standardize as much of our process and our technologies as we can, but kind of like the buttons and the material and the thread in a shirt, you've got to be able to tailor it to a specific carrier's needs and processes, and we do that as well in terms of our technology utilization.